Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share, I was actually out in the garden today and I saw, I think my first hummingbird of the spring, and it inspired me to make this twisted easel card. It looks like that, folded flat and then folded up, and it's got this nice flying hummingbird on it. And the hummingbird is not attached to the card, so it kind of floats and flutters just like a hummingbird would. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to try a little bit different way of making it, but I'll show you while I'm doing it. I'll explain how I did this one. I mean, this is a basic twisted easel, and then I cut this stamp out, and I'm going to use that same stamp and the same hummingbird, but I'm going to cut it into the side of the card instead. Whereas this one, I just cut it completely out and attached it onto that twisted easel with some foam pads. And then I attached my hummingbird onto the back with a strip of heavyweight acetate. And it's attached to the flowers, which then is attached to the card. And I like the way that came out, but I want to try something just a little bit different. So let's get started. So this one I'm going to stamp, so this is the stamp set, and I've had it for years. I actually think this is supposed to be like a Christmas rose or something, because I think it came out around the holidays a few years back. But I thought it colored in those tropical colors. I think it looked good. So I'm going to put this on the card because it's got a die, and the die that comes with the flower, it's a split die. So you can cut it on the edge, or you can cut it completely out. So I use the other die to cut it, the two dies. Let me find the other piece. So it's got the two pieces. So, well, it goes this way. So I cut it like that on the first card. So I cut it completely out. This one, I'm just going to use this edge die, and I'm going to cut, and I'm going to cut it out. So this is a 6x6 card blank. So the way that I decided how I was going to put this on the card is I laid it onto my stamping platform. Let me get this out of the way so I can work. And then I put my stamp on there, and this is the edge that cuts out. See, it goes just about like that. I'm not too worried if it doesn't come all the way up because I can snip that with my scissors. But then I took my hummingbird die, and I want that to kind of flutter off here to the side. So wanted to get it to the point where I had this in a spot where I had enough room for my hummingbird to float in there and still be within my 6x6 card base. So that's going to work right there, I think. And so that's how I decided where I was going to put this stamp on the stamping platform. So now let me stamp it. And cut it out and color it. And then we'll do the same with the hummingbird. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to leave that on there. I'm not going to waste this cardstock because I still need to stamp and color my hummingbird. I guess I could have put it on at the same time, but I'm going to go ahead and use that leftover cardstock. And because I'm going to cut this away, I don't care what orientation my hummingbird's in. I just need to stamp him on some decent cardstock so I can color it. So rather than stamping it on a separate piece of paper, I might as well stamp it on this one. And this is the hummingbird from the Hummingbird collection. You could use the Kingfisher stamp as well, or anything else you got. Now, before I color this, I think I'm going to go ahead and run it through and cut it. So we're going to put, just in case my die slips or something, I haven't wasted all that time coloring. So I'm going to get my die, my edgeable die on there. And that looks pretty good. Tape it down so it doesn't move. Let me get my hummingbird on there. More tape. Sorry if my head's in the way. And let me run this through my die cutting machine. And to get this out of here. I'm not too worried about this cardstock because it's going to get cut away anyway. Okay, so there's my hummingbird. And here's my flowers. And see, I'm going to color that up, and then I'm going to use my acetate to attach my hummingbird out here. And then I've got some paper to go on the background. I was planning on putting some paper on this side, but there's not really enough room. So I'm going to go ahead and color this, and I'll start coloring it so you can see how I do it. And then you'll get bored, so I'll fast forward and go on. So I take the leaves. These are the tricolor brush markers from Spectrum Noir. This is the Sunlit Leaves. I really like this tricolor Sunlit Leaves for sort of tropical looking foliage. I think the colors work really nice. I'm going to do all of the leaves in Sunlit Leaves. I just start with the light color. And then I also use this color to color in the inside of each of these flowers. I don't know if you can see that it's got like little stamens or whatever. I guess you could do them in red, but I just did them in the green. They don't show that much, but I wanted them to stand out something against the yellow and orange. Okay, and then, so I get the light green on the leaves. And you really should have another piece of paper underneath your cardstock when you're coloring with alcohol markers, but the Crafter's Companion card base cardstock is pretty thick, and I'm not doing a ton of blending, so I'm not too worried about it. I am going to swap out, and then I go to my dark and just kind of put some little flicks at the base of the leaves. I'm going to take that mid-tone, kind of blend a few more flicks. Now I'm not doing this all that neatly, and then just take that light color again and go over the edge where the darker color ended, and it just sort of blends it out, and go on to the next. And to do the flowers, I also used my tricolor brush, and this is, what is it called? Golden Sunrise. So start with your light, which is, which one is this? Moonlight. And just color all your petals in. And then I go to the dark, which is salmon. And you just want to put some color at the base. And then I put, wherever there were these little lines, I put just a little flick of the salmon. And then I go to my medium color, which is honey. And some of the petals I'll take the honey all the way to the top, especially like in the back petals. And others I'll stop part way. And then I go back to my moonlight and blend from the top. Do the same thing on all the rest of these flowers. So I'll fast forward it here so you don't have to sit here and watch me color all these, because it'll take me a few minutes. Back with you in a minute. Okay, so I finished coloring that, and you can actually see that that cardstock's thick enough that it almost didn't even go through. And then the only other thing I did is I did matte this inside with a piece of 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 paper from the Hummingbird collection. And now I'm going to color my hummingbird. And the way that I did this one is I used, again, I'm using these tricolor brush pens. I really like these for stuff like this. And this is the Warm and Fiery. So I'm going to start on the breast of the bird with the lightest color, which is vanilla. And just kind of do some little flicking. You can see I colored the beak with one of the ice gray, the dark ice grays. Then we're going to go with our Satsuma, which is our middle. Just kind of overlap. Then I'm going to go back to my vanilla just to kind of blend that edge. Then I go to fuchsia, that last one, color. And we're just going to kind of go right along the edge of the Satsuma, the orange. I go back to my orange and just kind of blend out that one. Okay. And then I went to my tricolor brush. This is Lush Verdant. Is that what is it? Yeah, Lush Verdant. So it's kind of it's navy blue, marine, and emerald. And all I did on this one is I started at the top with the green, which is emerald. Did his head and down the back part. And then I took the blue, which is navy blue. And pulled from each end a little bit, and then went into the marine in the middle. And then I'm going to do somewhat the same here. And I'm going to get that green and the fuchsia to kind of merge with the blue. Use the teal. So that marine color. Kind of do some little flicks. Just like that. And then I'm going to do the greens and blues on the tail. You can make it any color you want, but I liked these colors. And then on this one, I started from the tips of the tail with the blue. And went up. And then went to the marine. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the wings. And that's it. Oh, almost forgot. I just colored his little eye in the moonlight, just to give it a little color. I don't know what color the eyes should be, but... And that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to attach that on with a piece. I've got just a strip of heavyweight acetate. I'm going to mount it in here onto my card, and I'm going to mount my little hummingbird to it right on the end. Now, if you wanted, you could put a full piece of acetate behind there and put your hummingbird on there. You could also put, you know, other flowers or something. But let me put this on my hummingbird. Something on there. I'm not sure what that is. Get good and stuck down. And then you want to decide where you want to put it. I'm going to have to trim mine down. Acetate's too long. So you decide where you want him, and try and, you know, make sure that it fits within the card. And a little bit higher. Yeah, right about there. Put some tape on there. Close your card and push down. And we're all done. We've got our flying hummingbird. Love that. So two different view, or kind of two different looks at a similar style. So this is just cutting into the front of the card. And this one I cut that floral piece completely out and just mounted it on the front of a twisted easel. So twisted easel, take a 6x6 and score from corner to corner. And then just, it'll make the twist and make that easel card. And then same, I did the hummingbird on there in exactly the same way. with a strip of acetate. So anyway, love those. Hope you liked that, and that you'll make your own flying hummingbird card. Anyway, thanks for watching.